This is a recap for May the 30th, 2012 on the ES Runner and Eurorunner trading systems. We take profits from 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time through 4 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, and from 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Fridays. First trade here short was at 1:40 in the morning. A short trade was taken. The rules dictate to exit when a flat line occurs in the first 5 bars of entry and when a cautionary triangle appears. Therefore, this trade took a 6-tick loss on 2 contracts. The next trade short is valid here to take. 6 ticks were made on the first contract. The second contract is brought to break-even status. As a runner, it was stopped out here, or even this candle here. The next trade is a sprint trade. After 20 bars or more on the stop loss line being flat, 20 bars you can find down here. The first turn down of the stop loss line or the first turn up of the stop loss line is where a sprint is taken, and the objective is to make 8 ticks in the pre-market and 10 ticks in the regular trading hours. The next trade here was a news release that came out at 7 in the morning. It was something related to Spain. All the markets went up and down quite a bit. There was no ahead of time scheduled news release, but this type of reaction in the market, traders know to not take anything that's generated on a very unusual candle that's 10 times larger in size than anything beforehand. So this trade to go long was generated by emotions and news, therefore it's not a valid trade to take. But after this period of time, waiting at least a couple candles, you can take a valid entry. The first valid scalp occurs here. First number in a series is taken, which is the 3. That produces 6 ticks of profit. And now we go to 9:30 in the morning. Right before 9:30 there's a short that's produced, but it happens to be 2 candles before the 9:30 open. We don't take any trades between the first 15 minutes of the market open from 9:30 to 9:45, and there's no point to take a trade just before the market opens with only 15 minutes to go. There's not enough time to make any profit. You've got to close your trade one candle before the market opens. So therefore you would only had 1 candle to make profit. This therefore is not a valid trade. Though it did turn out to be a very good trade, it's not a trade valid to take when the market opens in 10 minutes. So now we switch to the 2 minutes. When the market opens, regular trading hours, we switch to a 2-minute set of algorithms to analyze all the trades at a faster filtering rate. So now at 9:30 we take no trades between 9:30 and 9:45. This trade that occurred at 10:02 was a news event at 10 o'clock this morning. We had pending home sales, therefore the news created the scalp. We don't take a trade that's created by a news event, and we exit a trade 1 candle before the news event, and we wait for at least 1 full candle after the news event to take any kind of a trade. Therefore, the first valid trade to take here is at 10:42 in the morning. It was a short on a first scalp. This is a 3rd series. First series here, 2nd series here, 3rd series here. Series are divided by gray that divides the white stop loss line. When the white stop loss line is occurring, that's a series where scalps can occur during that series. Gray is not a time to take. Scalps don't occur on a gray line, they only occur on a white line. So the first number is taken. That makes 8
ES long.
ticks of profit. That background noise there was my trade system creating a ES long right now, if that was heard in the background. Going forward here, we don't take trades between 12 and 1 o'clock. For lunchtime, the market moves in a very small way, and therefore trades are not valid between 12 and 1 with the US at lunch and the European sessions closed. I recommend to traders to not take trades between 12 and 1. Some traders take them. I recommend not, because the success rates are more like 50-50. When the system has about an 80% success rate, it's not worth taking 50-50 trades. This trade actually on a 2 went up a little bit against it. It actually did make profit. It did make 2 points from here, the entry on this price here, down to here. But again, it wasn't a trade endorsed by the rules nor by me in the room. The first trade long here was a great trade. Unfortunately, at 1:30, member Dudley of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York was talking. At 1:30 exactly is when he started talking. So since this occurred, many traders in the room didn't take this trade, and it might have been something related to him beginning to speak. So it was best, because of news, this would be a trade not to take. But after 30 minutes of somebody talking like Dudley, it's valid to start taking trades. This first scalp occurred at about an hour, about a half an hour later. Unfortunately, it lost 8 ticks. And then the first valid short was taken here at the number 1312. These numbers are truncated. 12 meaning the number 1312 right here. That made 8 ticks of profit. The second position brought to break even as a runner. Unfortunately, we had no runners today. We have runners very often that make 5, 6, 8, 10 points very often, but today there were no runners. It got taken out at break even here. The total gain today was 22 ticks or 5.5 points. The Euro runner today had a negative day. It's only the second losing day in 28 days since the service started back on April the 18th. So we've had excellent success with the ES. The Euro runners only had 2 losing days. The Euro runners only had 2 losing days. So both systems have only had 2 losing days in 28 days. But here we go to 1 o'clock in the morning. The first trade is taken. When the cautionary triangle appears in the first 5 bars, therefore creating a flat line in the first 5 bars of entry, it is exited. What you're looking for is a shape, a U or a V in the first 5 bars. That's a valid trade to take. When it goes flat and a contrary directional triangle appears and there's been no shape on the stop loss line, it's been flat, that's when you exit for rookie trading rules. The rookie trading rules, of course, again, are the safer rules explained in previous videos. The entry here was exited just before the 4 o'clock news here for a total of 5 pips taken on the full position. 202 is the full position. A scalp here occurs, and the scalp unfortunately only makes about 7 pips. The scalp, when entered, is exited on the first cautionary triangle, which is right here. It makes 7 pips on half of a normal position. A full position taken on entries, half positions taken on scalps. This was a 7 o'clock news event that came out, therefore not a valid long, but waiting afterwards, the first valid scalp does come up here, and this one fails and loses 15 pips. First valid short occurs here at 9:10 in the morning. It makes 20 pips. For the Euro and other instruments, the need to exit the trade just when the U.S. market opens is not necessary, because the U.S. market exiting is when the ES market opens. But the ES does have influence on other instruments, therefore it's recommended to simply move your stop loss up to the blue line right here and have the blue line be your stop loss on any currency trading when the U.S. market opens for futures trading. The second position was brought to break even. It's knocked out here. The first valid scalp comes up here, loses 15 pips on half a position. Second valid scalp loses 3 pips on half a position. Again, both taken out either at 15 pips of lost or the cautionary triangle, whichever one occurs first. Scalps often make money on the Euro runner today. They didn't do so good. There's days like this. For a total, again, of 6 pips lost on the Euro runner today. Again, to reiterate, only the second day in over a month. The Euro normally is averaged about 30 to 35 pips per day, going back since the start of the service. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please contact me at info@es-runner.com. info@esrunner.com. Thank you very much.